Hey there, welcome to 2026. I hope you had a wonderful new year. I hope this year is going to be great for us all. I hope we all learn more, build more, and deploy more. So speaking of learning more, one of the best ways to learn is just by reading code. Reading code that other people have written, more seasoned developers than yourself. And here we have the Fizzy app from Basecamp. Just looking through this code here, I just picked a random file. I found this signup.rb model file. And then I noticed, something I don't see too often is that they're supplying a context in which to run validations in, right? So they can conditionally do these validations. So if it's something you did not know you can do, I wanted us to take a moment and explore this because it is a pretty cool feature. What I'd like to do is let's just spin up a quick Rails app here, a simple blog app. We'll just have a post model with a title and a body. And basically what I'd like to do is I'd like to be able to save drafts, right? And those drafts don't need to run any validations. Like we could leave the title and the body blank. I don't know why we would want to, but maybe we do. But also it would allow us to maybe write down just a title and stash it away so that we can write the body of it later, or vice versa, right? If we have some words that we want to put down, but we don't really have them formulated into a solid conceptual idea or a solid title, we can save that for later as well. But when we go to publish that, that's when we want to go ahead and run the validations to say that, hey, a title and the body should be present. Okay, what we're going to do is super simple here just so that we can get a feel for how to use this. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to do a Rails new command here. Let's do a valid with context, and we're just going to go ahead and take the defaults here for Rails. And now I'm just going to scaffold a post model really quickly. So I have a little shortcut here for that, just rgscaf, which is just short for Rails generate scaffold. And then I'll say post, and let's give it a title, and then we'll do body will be text. So title will be string, body will be text. And we'll just go ahead and hit that enter button to go ahead and generate that. Next, let's go ahead and open this up, and let's go ahead and let's go to the routes file really quickly. There's no coincidence that I used the post model here so that we can just quickly go ahead and set up this root route. The next thing I want to do is open up the post controller. Okay, so in this controller here, I'm just going to clean up all these respond to blocks here. We don't need any of this. We're just going to keep it simple here. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cleaned up all those respond to blocks so that we don't have all those different formats that we're not going to use here. Just to make things simple here. So now I'm going to go ahead and start up our server here. And then let's go look at it in our browser. All right, so back in our browser here, if we refresh our page, let me zoom in a little bit for you so it's not completely microscopic there. We just have our general normal scaffold here that we've generated from the scaffold generator. We land on this form here to create a new post, right? Okay, so all is well there. So now back to the Fizzy code real quick. So this valid where they're passing the context to is inside of this complete method here. This complete method is used over in this controller here, this signups completions controller. You can see right here on line 13, they call that complete method right there, right? So that's where they're actually calling the method, which will then set the context for all of the validations to run and then be processed accordingly. So what I would like to do is I would like to have two buttons here, one that just says save draft and the other one that just says publish. Okay, so if we open up the form for a post here, down here where we have this submit button, we can go ahead and actually copy this, and we can have two submit buttons here that will both submit the same form, which is what we want. The only thing we're going to do here is we're going to set this up so that we know what kind of processing we need to do on the form data that's submitted over here. So again, let's just have two buttons. We'll say save draft for this one, and then this one here, we will just have it say publish. Okay, so let's save that. My editor here has formatted things a little bit awkward. Deal with it for a second. We'll kind of come back to this. All right, so now we refresh. We see our two buttons here, save draft and publish. But if we inspect these here, so we can see that the names are both commit. Values here are just simply the text of the submit inputs. And now let's quickly go to our controller. And in the create action here, let's put in a binding.irb. Pop over back to our browser here, and let's just go ahead and hit save draft. Now we can see from our progress bar here, I can tell you right now, we've definitely hit our binding.irb. And here we are. And let's just look at params here. So in our params, we see that the name of the button here, the name attribute of the button, remember, you can see here it's the name attribute of the submit input is commit. So we could look at that, params commit, and then check if it's equal to save draft, so forth. But the other thing we could do, which I think I like better personally, is if we go back over to our form here, if we supply our own name attribute, for instance, this one we can say name is draft, and then let's go ahead and see if we can get this back formatted correctly. Okay, now for example, if we say, instead right here, we can say name publish. If we now go refresh the page, or I'm sorry, let's go back to posts, let's go back to new posts, publish with the E there. I get rid of that one. Okay. All right, let's refresh again. And now if we look at the buttons here, or the submit inputs, now we can see we have these name attributes that are just going to be draft and publish, which I like better because let's just do publish this time. Now we'll hit that binding.irb. If we look at params now we can simply just look to see in the controller, we could look for params publish. Okay, and that'll return back that string. It'll be true. Conversely, if we were to look at draft here, we're going to get back nil because that didn't come through, right? That button was not clicked. So this will make kind of that conditional check a little bit simpler, so we don't have to check the actual value that this key is mapped to. All right, so that's good. So we'll exit that binding.irb. Let's go back to our controller and remove that. All right, so let's start with create here. So again, we only want to run the validations, which we don't have yet, but we will. We only want to run validations if we're trying to publish the post, or if that publish submit input has been clicked. So let's go ahead and comment all of this out for now and just leave this right here as our starting point. So we know here that if params, as we just looked at a moment ago, if params publish, okay, if that's there, then we want to handle things a certain way, run the validations. Otherwise, really we just want to call at post.save, and then we can redirect to at post, and then we can say notice draft saved. All right, so in the event that we don't want to, that we're just saving the draft, just call and save, bypassing any validations that we have is what we're going to want. Now we need to handle this case where we do want to run the validations when we click publish, which essentially we want to do some of this stuff here, right? So let's go ahead and actually cut this out of here, and let's paste it in here. We will uncomment it, format that a little bit better. Let's say post published. Otherwise, we want to render new. So now instead of calling save right here, this is where we want to set up something kind of like what they're doing in Fizzy, where over in the controller, we call some method, right? And we're going to do it just like they did. We're going to write a model method to do this that will then get called and called valid and passing in the context in which we wanted to check if this record is valid in. So let's go ahead and just say we have a post.publish method. Okay, now we don't have this, so we're going to need to go write it. So let's go over to the model for this, and let's say def publish. What we want to do here is we really just want to call save if valid, and then pass in the context of publish. So we can just simply pass this symbol publish, but we don't actually have any validations that we want to run in this context yet, so we need to do that right now. So let's go ahead and just say validates. We'll give it the title and body. We'll say presence true, and then we will say on, and this is where we will set up that context here. So now only if we call valid pass in this context of publish will these validations run. So let's go try it out in the browser here. Let's go back to, let's go ahead and delete that post. Let's delete all these posts here that we got. So let's start fresh. Go to new post. So now if we try to publish, we should get some errors showing. And we do. If we try to enter one here and say publish again, we'll just get the opposite, right? So that's all well and good. However, what happens if we hit save draft? Now we see that we get our little flash notice of draft saved, and indeed it does have that title there that we entered, so that we can come back now later, go to edit this post, and then write the body of this post later on. So really simple, really easy way to do something like this. You can just set up these contexts and then you pass them to the calls that you make when you're trying to save records. And now what about when we want to come back and write out the body here? Well, we need to do some updates here, because if we go look at the update method, no pun intended there, if we call post.update right here, we're going to be bypassing our validations, right? Because update's just it's not gonna have any context passed with it or anything, so it's just gonna skip the validation. So we need to set that up so that we can pass the context for this validation to run when someone comes back and tries to update a post. First thing we want to do is we want to make sure to update all the model attributes, right? But we want to do so without calling update. So what we can do is we can say at post.assign attributes. Now we can go ahead and use the post params method there. So now essentially what we could do is we could actually go ahead and delete all of that code there and go up here from our create method. We could yank this and go ahead down here and paste that in, and we'll have to change a few things. So yes, we want to be checking that if the params publish, if the publish parameter came through. If so, we want to try to run our validations via this publish method here. If successful, we want to go ahead and just redirect back to the post saying the post has been published. Otherwise, if this fails here, we do not want to render new, but we do want to render edit here in this case. Now in the other case of just saving as a draft again, this works just the same, so we can keep this. If we really wanted to, we could say draft updated here, right? Just to have some sort of differentiating message between the first initial save, draft save of that, and then updating a draft. So now if we go back to the browser here and we change this to say foobar, if we say save draft now we should see draft updated, and we do. If we go back to edit and we try to publish, we'll see our errors there. And let's go ahead and add in something here. And now if we say publish, we can see that we've successfully published that post. So we're able to work within certain contexts to run validations here, which is really nice. So we've got a nice working solution here. However, there's quite a bit of duplication between the create and update actions. So I want to go ahead and clean that up. So really the only difference here is on the failed validation, the templates that we're rendering, right? In the one case, we're rendering new. In the other case, we're rendering edits. So that's really the only bits that are changing here, other than this message here of draft updated versus draft saved right here. Okay, so we can write some code to get around all this stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start with writing the code that I kind of wish I had, then we'll build out the methods from there. So in both cases, right, we're trying to persist or save a post, right? So maybe just to keep things short, we'll call it save post. And ideally we'd be able to pass in, the view template to render. So maybe we can give it an argument of, in this case, we would want new. And then now down here, we would want instead edit. Okay, that's what we'd like to have. And then we could pull all this stuff out. Let's go ahead and just delete those lines there. Come down here and paste those in. And then let's write our save post method, right? We're gonna need to take in some arguments there. We'll come back to that. Let's go ahead and make sure to end that off. And then let's clean up our update method here to also delete that duplicate code. So save post is really all we want to do, right? So now save post, remember it needs to take in a template argument. So really just want to see if that publish param is present. If so, we want to call the publish method on that post object. And then if successful, we'll redirect back to the post saying everything's all good. We published it just fine. Otherwise here, this is where we want to go ahead and render whatever template that we're passing in. So whatever symbol we pass into where we're calling the save post method, we want to use that here. The status unprocessable entity is all the same. I do believe that is changed now. It's supposed to be unprocessable content. But I know they've worked it out in Rails to where you can still call this and it works just fine. But something to note right there. So let's save this, and before we make any other changes, let's go ahead and try this out again. Let's go ahead and destroy this post. All right, let's go make a new one. So if we try to publish, okay, we get our errors. We can give it a title, try to publish again, body. It cannot be blank, so that's all good. If we just want to save the draft, that works just fine. Draft saved. If we go back to edit, if we try to publish, body can't be blank. Let's change the title up a little bit, save draft. Draft saved. So we're still getting that same message twice, right? But the code is working as expected still. We factored out that duplication there. And maybe the stock notice of draft saved is just fine. If you wanted to change that, you could optionally have this take in a message argument. Just say we'll have it default to draft saved. And you could change these up accordingly if you wanted. I think probably draft save is just fine. If you really wanted to make draft updated work, you totally could. The next thing I would say is I really kind of hate this nested conditional here. So we could extract that out to a method. So we could do def publish post. Okay, that will need to take in a template argument. All right, let's paste this in, format this out. As you can see, this is why we need to pass in, or why this method needs to take the template argument, because we're using it right here to render on the failed validation. So now let's go up here. Let's just call our publish post method, passing in whatever template argument is coming in. And now we could do the same thing here. We can make a save draft method, paste that in, end off our method here, format everything. Okay, good. And then we'll want to remember to go ahead and call our save draft method. Now things are looking a lot simpler, even though we still, in theory have the nested conditional. We don't have to look at it all at once as one big nested conditional. We can break it up and separate it in our minds there, which I find quite nice often. So let's try this out again. Let's destroy this one. Let's make a new one. So let's try to publish. We should see the failed validations. Yes, we do. Put in a title. We can still try and publish. We still see that failed validation. We'll save the draft. We'll come back to it. Draft saved. Good. Over on edit, if we try to publish, we cannot do that. If we update a title and we save draft again, draft saved. All is working well there. If we go ahead and add in a body and try to publish just fine. We see that reflected in our flash message there. So that's all nice and good. The one last final little thing I want to do here for refactoring is this if modifier here. We can actually totally ditch together, because if we go look at the save method, let me zoom in on this for you here. So if we look at save here, if you read about it, save can actually take a context keyword argument here. So if we kind of go down the rabbit hole here, so the validation context can be changed by passing context keyword argument and then the context argument there, right? We can change that. So we'll see that save method just takes in a hash of options. It forwards that options hash along to the perform validations method, which if we go look at it, is over here on line 90. So it'll take that options hash. It'll look for the validate option if it's equal to false, or it'll look for, or it'll call the valid method as we're doing now, and then pull out the context and send that in. So it's going to do exactly as we're doing right here. So what that means for us is that we can just go ahead and right here, we can go ahead and delete all the way to that parenthesis. You can save that. And now all we have to do is pass in or add the keyword argument for context, right? And now this code will run exactly the same. So just to prove that to you, let's go back to post. We'll make a new post. We try to publish, can't do it. Foo, we'll do just a title, try to publish, can't do it. Save as draft, draft saved. Go to edit, try to publish there, can't do it. We can go ahead and update the title, foo bar it, save that. We see our draft has been saved. We can go back, edit it, add a baz in there, and we can go ahead and publish it. Now our post is published. So not too bad for just doing some validations in different contexts. Obviously, we're not actually marking things as published and so forth in our control. We're not taking all that into account. I try to keep this simple, but you would have to add in a publish at timestamp, update it accordingly within this code. But this is just a starting example of learning about using context in order to validate objects within those contexts. So I hope this inspires you to go read some code. There's a plethora of it out there. So take some time, carve out, even if it's just 10, 20, 30 minutes, carve out some time, pick a random file, look at some of the code, and we see something that sparks your interest, go down the rabbit hole and figure it out. Because, maybe, first of all, you didn't know you could pass a context to valid, the valid method, right? And if you did, maybe then you didn't know that you could also pass the context to the save method and it would function just the same, because now you see how the methods get called and how things get passed along down the line. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, happy 2026. I will see you in the next one. Take care.